Hey guys, this is Teals here with another Overwatch hero kind of overview. I'm looking at Genji, one of our, attack damaging DPS based heroes. Genji has some of the best lore, period, that's in the game. And basically, Genji was the son of a prominent, kind of cartel-like esque family, illegal businesses, etc. However, Genji wasn't really impressed with, this type of business. He really didn't care for the family business. He wanted nothing to do with it. So, Genji kind of just went off being a young rogue and did his own thing and did whatever he wanted. And the problem is eventually his father had an untimely passing, and the family business passed on to his older brother, Hanzo. Now, the other people in the organization, the Shimada clan, did did not like Genji. They really didn't like how he was such a rogue, how he kind of just did whatever he wanted, and they asked Hanzo to take care of it. Now, Hanzo confronted him, and Hanzo put Genji near death. He took him down to near death, and it was thought to be the end of Genji. However, uh, Genji was saved by Overwatch, specifically Dr. Angela Ziegler, who is Mercy, and they created this cyborg type, you know, body in order for him to continue to survive. Now, with that, Genji really wanted revenge against the Shimada clan, and he just wanted to get rid of his family's criminal empire. He wanted to get rid of it. Now, the only problem is over the course of this time, he started to really detest the cyborg body he had. It was disgusted by it. He really wanted nothing to do with it, and it bothered him. So he started to struggle with, his cyborg body and what he was as a person. All he was doing was trying to dismantle his family's criminal empire. Finally, he kind of was so repulsed, he went out of his way and just left. And he encountered Zenyatta, the monk, the Omnic monk, who finally kind of allowed him to come to peace with the terms that there's nothing wrong with his cyborg body, and there's a lot of things that he can do with that body that he still has. That even though he is a cyborg, he's basically a machine now, his human soul was still intact, and he was able to, carry out the wishes of others, help people, and that is basically how he became a hero for Overwatch. So one thing you should note about Genji's kit is that he's very fast. He's very mobile. He's one of the fastest, most mobile heroes in the game. And that really plays into his kit. That's a reason why it's there. And it's because his kit kind of requires him to be fast and mobile. So not only does he have a very quick movement speed, kind of close to on par with something like Lucio with his accelerate, but he's able to wall climb like his brother, Hanzo, and he's also able to double jump. So as you can see at the end of the wall climb, I can jump even higher and try and get to the top. I believe I can reach the top, there we go, with that double jump. So he has some of the best mobility in the game of any hero, and his kit kind of requires that. But before I get to that, let's go ahead and look at his main damage component, which are his shurikens. So he has 3 in his hand right now, and he has 24 before he has to reload. He's a cyborg, so he just pulls them out of his arm. But do note that he does have a reload. It doesn't just keep, he doesn't have a no reload time, which you would kind of expect, but he does. So you can fire them in 2 different ways. You can either fire them in rapid succession, all on one target, or you can fire them in kind of a small AoE cone. And I'm going to the left here because the cone really is small. As you can see there, it hits both of them. Now, most of the time, you're probably not going to want to do the AoE cone, but do note that if the enemies are really grouped up and you want to whittle them down, kind of do a lot of massive AoE damage, I mean, it won't be too massive, but you're able to do a decent amount of AoE damage if you're firing them like that. And for a healer that I mentioned, like Mercy, who can only single target, or someone like Zenyatta, who really can only single target, it'll really put stress on their team. So, I mean, you basically have two... I mean, if you're facing a Mercy, you have two options. Either you can spread the damage as much as possible, or you can use a single target to take out the Mercy, and then start wrecking the rest of the team. So, definitely two valid options for your shurikens, but you probably will be using the... you probably will be using your main one, your triple consecutive, the most. And notice that it has no drop-off. He's a cyborg, so he's got an insane arm strength. So there is no drop-off. Let me see if I can get a headshot. Yep. So there is absolutely zero drop-off. Like Hanzo's arrows have a drop-off. Even some other guns have a drop-off, but not these. It's just going to straight kill him right off the bat. Now his first ability is known as Swift Strike, and this is where his fast kit comes into play, is he needs it because he uses his sword several times. And with the Swift Strike, I can use my sword to kind of cross and attack enemies, which makes him really powerful because he's able to confuse your enemies by just kind of, you know, dashing around them and really confusing them. And there are really only two heroes that can do this, and that's Tracer and Genji. And that's what they excel at. They excel at confusing your enemy. There are many times in which you're able to dash through someone and get around a corner, and then they can't figure out where you are, and then you're able to get the jump on them again. And that's what these heroes do best. Now, if for some reason you're caught out of a position, you can use your sword to deflect shots back at the opponent. That is his second ability. It's just called deflect, but you can deflect back at your enemy. And it hurts. It really does hurt. So I'm going to go ahead and deflect back, and all of the bullets hit him, but depending on who you're facing, it can be really damaging. It's not like it deflects a certain amount of shots. It deflects everything for a period of time. And I believe in the Bastion video, I described how we countered 3 Winstons with 3 Bastions, and it worked great until our 3 Bastions did something very stupid. And they decided to attack the Genji, who decided to reflect all of their attacks. Needless to say, the 3 Bastions were absolutely melted and obliterated, and our team ended up losing one of the best last-minute stands I've ever seen, because we were so close, and then we lost it because of that one Genji deflecting their bullets for that short amount of time, and he just melted through all of them. So, something to pay attention to. If you're playing Genji and you have a really high attack speed hero like that, you may want to be very careful when he goes up there with his sword and he just tries to deflect everything. So, something to note with Genji. Now, his final ability is known as the Dragon Blade. This is a very powerful ability that allows him to dash in and deal a lot of damage to multiple heroes. I will activate it, and as you can see, I can sit here and deal a lot of damage, and you can even use your abilities in the middle of it. With your dash and your deflect, it can be very scary to see that ability come out. It's not something that you want to take lightly, and so it's something that you have to be cautious of when when you're playing against a Genji. Now, that wasn't the greatest display of the Dragon Blade, but it does have a very loud sound effect, and there's a reason for the very loud sound effect. Is because just like his brother's ability, the Dragon Strike with his arrow, it's kind of one of those abilities where you're like, alright, I need to get out of here. I don't know how, but I need to get out of here. And that's basically what it is. So you can just sit here, and then you can zoom it, you can use your abilities while you're in the middle of it. And that's basically what happened when we got killed, is that they used that ability, and then he deflected all of our abilities. He popped his ultimate ability with 3, the Dragon Blade, and then the sentries, the Bastion sentries, were melted by deflect, the ability to deflect. So Genji has great potential, and there's a reason why he has his mobile kit. It's because of that ultimate ability, that Dragon Blade, and the dash. Even though he has his shurikens, and that is his main damage component, do not count out his sword. His sword technique is flawless. So, with that, that is everything regarding Genji. I hope you enjoyed him. Enjoy him. He is one of the more popular heroes in the game. However, I will say that he is not the easiest. So, don't just run in there with Genji thinking that you're going to be so great and that he's all powerful. He definitely can be very difficult. So, but I hope you enjoy Genji. He's a lot of fun, and I hope to see you guys out there in Overwatch. I'll see you guys later. Tearless out.